Hi guys, I'm back up here with another message for the collective. Remember, all readings are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me, we can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as, let's share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord. Anywho, let's get it popping, okay? So the channel message has to do with, also I'm not going to be on screen as well, but the channel message also has to do with reading the word, right? What I mean by the word, I'm talking about the Bible, right? Really dissecting the Bible, right? So as I was reading this word, right, the word coming from every man's Bible, y'all know my whole spiel, right? God kind of put it on my dome piece today, the purpose and how it's crazy when it comes to the word and what's in it, right? As I'm reading it, I'm just kind of like reading a whole bunch of story, what I would call is story, right? And as I'm reading all these stories, right? Reading all these stories, or reading the stories that God wants me to read, right? There's little nuggets within you have to catch, right? So what God kind of put on my dome piece about the word is that when it comes to the word, it's about you understanding the concept of the word, right? The people and the things that's spoken about in the word is based on those personal relationships that them people had, right? So that being said, Daniel, fucking John the Baptist, Mary, all of these people that were spoke about, sorry about that, guys, spoke about in the Bible, they all had a personal relationship with their creator, right? And hence, while having that personal relationship with your creator, God will have you do certain things and walk certain walks and move certain things that is going to impact the masses in some way, shape, or form, right? And as I'm thinking about the word, right, God kind of put it on my dome piece about the word and how we as a especially like for Christian folk, okay, all I can really do is really speak from my behalf, my foundation being Christian, right? We tend to praise what's being done or the things within it, or like all these immaculate things that these people have done, right? God kind of put on my dome piece, right? If I could put it in words on how God kind of put it on my dome pieces. If you wake up to your purpose, right? Thinking about all these people in this Bible here, they're all on a purpose. They're all doing what God needs them to do. God does not need your help saving the world. God just needs you to do what you're supposed to do. And the thing is about this Bible, right? About this book here is that it was created based off of the experiences of everybody who's been on their purpose, who had that personal relationship with God, right? So in a sense, right, as you're going through reading these books, right, reading these things, right, you're getting the testimonies of these people that they when it comes to how God had them walking on their personal walk between God and whoever we're reading about, right? This is that type of energy in these moments in time. If we could make this book again, right? To make this really, like, I guess, current, because this is basic knowledge, right? Before leaving Earth, right? The Bible is basic knowledge before leaving Earth, right? But if we could remake this book again, right? If you were on your purpose, if you were doing what God needs you to do, you yourself would have a space, a paragraph or a chapter or whatever in this book. You will have a space for yourself within this book, right? So this is that type of energy. As long as you were doing what is necessary for God, God will make that your whole life will be a testimony. Right? Your whole life, because everybody's purpose is necessary for the kingdom. And everybody that's spoken about in the word had a purpose towards the kingdom. And that's really the difference between it all, right? And it's crazy how God like put it on my dome piece, because I'm sitting here reading this word like, yo, how like, dude, like there's a lot of story here, and I'm reading about these different type of people, right? And it's like, in so many words, like, dude, if we made this book again, you would be in it. As long as you were doing what God needs you to do, right? This is that type of energy. You would have a chapter or a section about like John, or like fucking Daniel, or like fucking Jonathan, or like who else? There's multiple people. Joseph, all these different people that had their own segment in the word, right? As long as you were doing your thing, doing what is necessary for God, your segment, if we could make this book again, you would have a segment in the word, right? This is that type of energy, because your walk, your life with the walk of God, it's going to be used as a testimony. So everything that you read within these books, right? And especially when it comes to the word, you're reading based off, it's basically kind of like somebody's lifespan and the relationship with God, when they started their relationship with God, and how it ended with the relationship with God. It's like put on paper, and that would be the same thing here, right? So for example, me putting these broadcasts out would be, I would have my own segment within this word here. You know what I'm saying? This is that type of energy, because this is something that God needed me to do, right? So whatever God needs you to do, God will use that to help others get closer to oneself, or get closer to them, really, or them, to God, really, because the purpose of the word is to get close to God, right? So, in so many words, what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to the word, it's not here to over glorify people's personal relationships with God. All of these people had personal relationships with God, and we don't really shine light on that part. You know what I'm saying? On how God had them on their face, talking to them, right? And speaking to them. That is a personal relationship with God. So that being said, you can't truly understand your creator unless you have a personal relationship with God. All you are really seeing is seeing and hearing is, and reading is, the experience of another person who had that personal relationship with God. That relationship with John the Baptist and God. That was between God and John the Baptist. That wasn't between God, John the Baptist, and you. You know what I'm saying? This is that type of energy. Them writing down their testimony. They're writing down what they've experienced within that time frame. So that being said, you build your own, right? Once you build that relationship with God, you build your own, and you tell other people about what you've been experiencing, right? This is that type of energy. And if you think about it like that, and like I said, if we can make this book again, you would have a segment within the book. You would have a segment as well. Just like John, just like fucking Jacob, just like all these different people, Mary, all these different people that are spoken about in the word. You would have a segment if you're walking with God. Right? You built that personal relationship with God, and you're being obedient with God and doing what God needs you to do. Right? Right. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Remember, all readings are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you can DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you can DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys to start the discussion, as well as to share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collectors so we all can get on one accord, okay? I want y'all to have a good night, and bye-bye.